30,000 years ago, the animal watching your fire was not a pet. It was a wolf, fast, intelligent, armed with teeth, and hunting the same animals your family needed to survive. If it came too close, you reached for a spear. Today, its descendants sleep in our homes, wait by the door, follow our pointing fingers, and look into our faces as if they are trying to read our thoughts. So how did one of our most dangerous rivals become the first animal to enter the human family? Did humans choose wolves, or did wolves choose us? The answer is probably both. The humans in this story were Homo sapiens, people with minds and bodies like ours living near the end of the Ice Age. They made tools, planned hunts, cared for children, shared food, and crossed huge landscapes in search of prey. Wolves were doing something surprisingly similar. They lived in families, hunted in groups, protected their young, defended territory, and depended on cooperation. That similarity may have made friendship possible, but at first it made humans and wolves competitors. Both species wanted the same animals, including reindeer, horses, deer, and bison. A human hunting group could follow tracks for hours only to find wolves already feeding, while a wolf pack could trail a herd only to discover humans waiting with spears. Each side had reasons to fear the other, yet also reasons to pay attention. Humans could reveal where meat was, while wolves could reveal where prey was moving. Long before they worked together, they were probably already watching one another. The simplest story says that a hunter found a wolf pup, carried it back to camp, raised it, and created the first dog. That may have happened, but taming one wolf is not the same as changing an entire population. The real process probably took generations, and it may have begun with wolves making the first move. Human camps produced bones, organs, burned scraps, and unfinished food. Most wolves stayed away because humans had fire and weapons. But wolves were not all identical. Some were less fearful, more curious, and better at judging when a human might tolerate them. Those animals could move closer without being attacked, find extra food, survive, and raise young. If lower fear was partly inherited, each generation could live a little nearer to humans than the one before. This is why people sometimes say that wolves chose us. A human camp was risky, but it offered easier food, warmth, and protection from larger predators that avoided fire and noise. Over time, humans may have reinforced the process by tolerating the calmest animals, feeding useful ones, or raising pups that were easier to handle. In that sense, ancient humans may have accidentally created dogs, not by designing a new animal, but by changing which wolves were most likely to survive near them. Later experiments with foxes showed that selecting for lower fear can change behavior and appearance surprisingly quickly. Dog domestication was far more complicated, but the lesson matters. Favor calmer, more social animals repeatedly, and the population can change. At first, the relationship was probably not friendship, but tolerance. A wolf stayed near the edge of camp and did not attack, while humans noticed it but did not kill it. The wolf learned that human voices, smoke, and movement could lead to food, while humans learned that this animal was predictable. Then tolerance became useful. Humans had hands, fire, stone tools, spears, and the ability to plan from a distance, while canids had senses we could never match. They could smell an animal long after it had passed, hear movement in darkness, and follow blood across ground where a human saw almost nothing. Imagine a hunt in which a canid catches a scent and moves ahead, the humans follow, and the animal keeps pressure on the prey until it turns, slows, or reveals itself. The hunters then use weapons from a safer distance. Neither side needs to understand the whole plan. Both only need to learn that staying close increases the chance of food. The same logic may have worked at night. People slept inside the light of the fire while a canid nearby could hear a predator or stranger approaching long before the humans did. A growl could wake the camp. One warning could protect a child, and one successful hunt could feed everyone. A single warning does not create friendship, but repeat these encounters over generations and the relationship begins to change. The animal learns that humans can mean food and safety. Humans learn that it follows rather than attacks, returns after the hunt, and notices things people miss. Eventually, people are no longer asking, "Why is that wolf still near us?" They are asking, "Where is our dog?" Exactly when wolves became dogs is difficult to answer. Genetic evidence suggests that the lineage leading to dogs began separating from ancient wolves somewhere between about 27,000 and 40,000 years ago. That does not mean fully domesticated dogs were already sleeping beside fires 40,000 years ago. It means the line that would eventually produce dogs had begun to diverge. The clearest dogs appear later. Around 15,800 years ago, genetically confirmed dogs were living with hunter-gatherers in central Anatolia. By about 14,300 years ago, confirmed dogs also appear in Britain. And by around 14,000 years ago, dogs were being buried with humans in Europe. By the end of the Ice Age, dogs were moving across Western Eurasia with people. All of this happened before farming spread widely, before permanent villages, and before sheep, cattle, and horses were domesticated. Dogs came first. That made them different from almost every domestic animal that followed. Cattle gave meat and milk, sheep gave wool, and horses eventually carried people. But dogs entered human life earlier as mobile social partners. To remain close to us, they also became unusually good at understanding us. Modern dogs are remarkable at following human attention. Point toward one of two places, and even a young puppy often knows where to look. Give a dog a problem it cannot solve, and it may turn back toward a human, almost as if asking for help. Wolves are not incapable of learning these things. Human-raised wolves can understand more than older stories suggested. Dogs, however, are unusually ready to include humans in their social decisions. They watch our hands, follow our eyes, listen to our voices, and look back when they are unsure. Friendly eye contact can also activate bonding systems involving oxytocin in both dogs and humans. Oxytocin is associated with attachment between parents and children, and a similar feedback loop may strengthen the bond between people and dogs. Dogs did not become our companions because of one hormone, but oxytocin helps explain how cooperation could begin to feel personal. Their faces may have helped too. Dogs often raise the inner part of their eyebrows, making their eyes look larger and more expressive. And humans tend to respond strongly to that expression. Over many generations, animals that were better at attracting human attention or care may have gained an advantage. The result was an animal that could work beside us and communicate with us emotionally. The strongest evidence that this relationship had moved beyond usefulness comes from a young dog buried in what is now Germany around 14,000 years ago. It is known as the Bonn Oberkassel dog. The animal was still a puppy when it died, and its teeth suggest repeated periods of severe illness over several weeks, possibly caused by canine distemper. A sick puppy like this could not hunt or track prey or guard a camp effectively. It may have struggled to eat, drink, and keep itself clean, yet it survived through several episodes of illness. Researchers believe that probably required human care. Someone may have brought it water, kept it warm near the fire, cleaned it, or helped it eat. When it died, it was buried with two humans. We cannot know exactly what those people felt, but they kept caring for an animal that could offer almost nothing in return. A healthy dog might help with a hunt or warn the camp. This puppy could do neither, yet someone kept it alive. That is the point where the story stops being only about survival. The dog had become part of the human social world. No one planned the whole process. No single wolf decided to become a pet, and no single hunter invented the dog. The bond grew through thousands of small exchanges. A bone left near the fire, a warning in the dark, trail followed through snow, pup allowed to stay, and a sick animal given water. Today, dogs still behave as though human attention matters. They wait by doors, listen for familiar footsteps, look at us when they need help, and follow us from room to room, even when there is no food. The first dogs were not Labradors, Dachshunds, or Border Collies, but the basic relationship is ancient. Two social predators learn to watch one another, then to work together, depend on one another, and finally to care. Maybe wolves chose humans because our camps offered food and safety. Maybe humans chose wolves because their senses made us safer and more successful. Most likely, both sides kept choosing the relationship, one generation at a time. It began with a wolf outside the fire, and it ended with a dog inside the human family.